She was my baby. Oh my God. You have no idea. You're talking about a light, a shining light that got snuffed out. She actually was shot, tried to dial 911, get out of the vehicle. Her life, we will celebrate it until my last breath because of her hard work and dedication. Nobody did it for her. She did it. My daughter was such a light that shined everywhere that she went. That's what her boss joked with me this morning. He said, her energy, she changes the atmosphere when she walks into a room. I said, I know.
Atlanta police are looking for a shooter who killed a pregnant mother of two found behind the wheel on the downtown connector. Officers found her last Tuesday on the northbound side of I-75, just before the I-20 interchange near Central Avenue.
Now her family is hoping anyone in rush hour traffic that evening who saw something will go to police.
Imagine this. It is a regular Tuesday evening in Atlanta. Rush hour traffic is moving on I-75. People are tired, they are heading home, windows down, music playing. And then somebody notices an SUV slowly drifting to the median. The turn signal is still blinking, like the driver just wanted to pull over, like everything was going to be okay. But when police got to that white BMW, what they found inside changed everything. A 34-year-old woman, shot, barely alive, pregnant, and to this day, nobody has been arrested. Hey, welcome back to Vile Crimes. If you are new here, this is the place where we talk about real cases, real people, and real justice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss when we drop a new case. Now let's get into it. Atlanta, Georgia. A city that never really sleeps. Highways always buzzing, people always moving, always grinding. It is the kind of city where you can come with nothing and build something real. And that is exactly what Bianca Huntley did. Bianca was 34 years old. Originally from Greensboro, North Carolina, she made the decision about 9 years ago to pack up and move to Atlanta. Just a woman who believed in herself and her future. And she delivered. By the time she was 30, she owned her own home. She was raising 2 daughters on her own, a 14-year-old and a 5-year-old. She had worked her way up at DHL, the courier and logistics company, and had just recently been promoted to quality control manager. Let that sink in. She had just gotten a promotion. Her mother, Gloria Allen, described her as a shining light, not just in her family but everywhere she went. When police went to Bianca's workplace to inform her co-workers of her passing, people broke down in tears. Strangers, people she worked with every day. That tells you the kind of energy this woman carried. And she was 4.5 months pregnant, with a baby girl, a girl she had already chosen a name for. Heaven. So when we talk about what happened on April 14th, 2026, we are not just talking about a crime. We are talking about 3 lives that were taken that evening. Bianca, and the daughter she never got to meet. Now let us talk about what we know about that day, because this is where things start to get really unsettling. April 14th was a Tuesday, a regular workday. Bianca finished her shift and got into her white BMW SUV to drive home. Nothing unusual, just a hard-working mother heading back to her kids after a long day. Somewhere between leaving work and reaching I-75 northbound near North Central Avenue Southwest, something went terribly wrong.
We're talking about 6 o'clock, 6:30, rush hour traffic on Highway 75. Somebody saw something. I'm a woman of faith. Vengeance belongs to God, but my daughter will be vindicated.
Now let us talk about what actually happened that evening, because this is where things start to get really unsettling. April 14th, 2026. A Tuesday. Bianca finished her shift at DHL and got into her white BMW SUV. Normal. Routine. The kind of thing she had probably done hundreds of times before. She was heading northbound on I-75, the same highway millions of Atlanta commuters use every single day. Nothing about that evening should have been different from any other. But somewhere between leaving work and reaching the stretch of I-75 near North Central Avenue Southwest, close to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, something happened. Something violent. Something that Bianca did not survive. Now here is the part that I want you to really pay attention to, because this detail changes the entire picture of that night. When police arrived at the scene around 6:15 p.m., they found Bianca inside her BMW, suffering from gunshot wounds to her left arm and her torso. Her car was pulled over on the median, turn signal still on, and according to her mother Gloria, Bianca had actually tried to call 911 herself after being shot. She was conscious enough to know she needed help. She tried to fight for herself and for that baby girl. She was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, but she did not make it. Now, what makes this case even more complicated is what investigators discovered early on in their work. The Atlanta Police Department released a statement saying that their preliminary investigation suggested Bianca may not have been shot on I-75 at all. She may have been shot at a completely separate and currently unknown location, and then somehow ended up on the interstate before her body gave out and the car drifted to a stop. Think about that for a moment. This woman was shot somewhere else and still managed to get herself onto one of the busiest highways in Atlanta, trying to get help, trying to survive. That is not just heartbreaking. That is the kind of detail that stays with you. So now the Atlanta Police Department's homicide unit has a much bigger puzzle on their hands than it first appeared. This was not a simple highway shooting. The actual crime scene, the place where the shot was fired, was still completely unknown. Detectives began pulling traffic camera footage from multiple locations. They started gathering witness statements from anyone who may have seen something on that highway or in the surrounding areas. They drove to Bianca's workplace in McDonough, Georgia, to piece together her last known movements before she was found. And here is where the family stepped in with something important. Bianca's mother, Gloria Allen, was very clear about one thing from the very beginning. She did not believe this was random. She did not believe her daughter was caught in a road rage incident or was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Gloria believed her daughter was targeted. Deliberately. Personally. That changes everything about how you look at this case.
Her brother says she also leaves behind 2 children, a 5-year-old and a 15-year-old.
The 5-year-old has kind of got questions like, why did they take my mommy away? You know, questions like that. And the 15-year-old is taking it probably just a little harder because, you know, she understands what this is and her mom isn't coming back.
He says she lived in Douglasville and was probably on her way home from her job in McDonough.
She dedicated her whole entire life to her children and her job and her families.
Now, the family is asking anyone who may have seen anything on the interstate that day in rush hour traffic to go to police.
We just encouraging people to step up. You got a busy highway.
Crime Stoppers has offered a $5,000 reward for anyone who can lead police to the killer.
I believe we as the people have to look out for our women and kids. So we got to take accountability and kind of step up to make sure this doesn't happen to someone else.
So if Gloria is right and Bianca was targeted, the question that naturally follows is why? Who would want to hurt a single mother who was just trying to get home to her kids? Who looks at a woman like Bianca Huntley, a homeowner, a promoted employee, a pregnant mother of 2, and decides she needs to be silenced? That is the question Atlanta investigators are still sitting with right now. No arrests have been made. No suspect has been publicly named. No motive has been confirmed. The case is still open. And the homicide unit is still out there, working traffic camera footage, chasing leads, trying to figure out where exactly that shot was fired and who pulled the trigger. Crime Stoppers has stepped in and put up a $5,000 reward for any information that leads police to the person responsible. $5,000 for the truth about what happened to Bianca and baby Heaven. That reward is still on the table. And somebody out there knows something. Now let us talk theories, because when a case is unsolved, this is where the conversation really opens up. Theory 1 is road rage gone horribly wrong. Atlanta traffic is no joke. I-75 during rush hour is one of the most stressful stretches of road in the country. People lose their tempers. It is possible that something happened between vehicles, something that started small and ended with gunfire. But here is the problem with that theory. If it was road rage, why has nobody come forward? Why are there no witnesses? And more importantly, road rage incidents are almost always impulsive. They leave traces. So far, this case has not shown those kinds of traces. Theory 2 is that this was personal. And this is the one Bianca's mother is standing firmly behind. When someone believes their child was deliberately targeted, that belief usually comes from somewhere. It comes from knowing your child's life, knowing who was in it, knowing if anything had recently changed or if something felt off. Gloria has not publicly named anyone, but her certainty that this was not random is something investigators are taking seriously. And that right there should make all of us feel something. 2 little girls lost their mother on an ordinary Tuesday evening. A 14-year-old who is now old enough to understand exactly what happened, and a 5-year-old who will grow up knowing her mother only through stories and photographs. And baby Heaven never even got the chance to arrive. Bianca built a life from scratch in a city that does not slow down for anybody. She owned her home. She raised her daughters. She earned her promotion. She was 4.5 months away from holding her third child. And all of it was taken in what investigators believe may have been a single deliberate act. Her mother said it best. She is a woman of faith. She believes vengeance belongs to God. But she also believes her daughter will be vindicated. And frankly, so do we. Now, before we close this out, I want to leave you with a few things to think about, because this case raises some real psychological questions. What does it say about us as a society when a woman can be shot and nobody around her even knows it happened until her car drifts to a stop on a highway? How many people drove past that BMW before someone noticed? And if this was truly targeted, what does that tell us about how well we really know the people closest to us and the dangers they may be facing in silence? These are not comfortable questions, but they are necessary ones. If you are watching this from Atlanta, or if you know anything at all about what happened to Bianca Huntley on April 14, 2026, please contact Crime Stoppers. The tip line is anonymous. The reward is $5,000. And 2 little girls deserve to grow up knowing that somebody did the right thing for their mother. Like this video if this case moved you. Subscribe to Vile Crimes so you never miss a case. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think did this? Do you think this was personal or random? Let us talk about it down below. Bianca Huntley deserves every conversation we have about her. And baby Heaven deserves justice too.